Inevitably, when I visit a practice, I see a team run a suicide or a ladder, or a line drill, or whatever your name for the drill, where you go free throw line and back, half court back, free throw line and back, full court and back. Uh, and when I see this done in a practice, it gives me an easy opportunity to see whether or not the players have learned uh, how to change directions. One, and then also what type of awareness we have in terms of coaching and making players able to change directions to both sides. So typically, what you see, or at least what I see when I watch teams do a suicide, is first, as they change directions, almost all of them will turn to their left. So if I'm running to the free throw line, I'll end up stopping with my left foot in front of the line and then my right foot beyond the line, and I'll use that right foot as my primary stopping mechanism. And I will turn then and kind of front pivot on my left foot to turn and go back in the direction that I came from. And so almost all, especially right-handed players, almost all right-handed players will, on every change of direction, turn to their left. So essentially doing a left foot front pivot. And so much of the braking is also done on that right foot. So they kind of fall into their right foot, and then they have to literally restart. So that change of direction becomes more like a stop and start, as opposed to a quick change of direction. And then, depending on the player, depending on the team, there's varying degrees of how well that movement's even done and how much of a stop it is. When players get tired, they'll even round that corner instead of actually stopping and going, which becomes even slower. But these are the typical movements that you see. So the first thing is, I think in this situation, players should be doing a hockey stop, which is a term that, I got from Lee Taft for a movement that I think is fairly natural for players. And that is, as you're getting to the line, you basically leave the ground and you turn 90 degrees, and then you stop on, essentially it's a jump stop with a 90-degree turn. And I'll link below an example of a hockey stop. So that's the first thing, is the hockey stop is going to be a quicker change of direction, and it's going to make you more explosive going back in the direction that you came from. Essentially, if you do it well, you're essentially taking advantage somewhat of the stretch shortening cycle properties in terms of using that eccentric contraction to explode forward and push yourself, as opposed to a slower, less reactive or less explosive change of direction move. So you're using the energy of the deceleration to help propel you in your acceleration. But the second part of it is when I have players, do any form of change of direction movement in a, for a punishment type situation or for losing a game or whatever it is, I will tell them which direction I want them to face. So we're always going to turn to one wall. So let's say if we run out to the free throw line, we're going to turn towards our right and face the wall to my right. And then when we get back to the baseline, we're going to turn towards that same wall. So now we're turning essentially to our left. So each time we change directions, we're working on changing in a different direction, because most players become dominant going in one way. For a right-handed player, most sporting activities are done turning towards your left or front shoulder. So, baseball, you're turning in this way, swinging a bat, swinging a golf club, swinging a tennis racket. Everything is the same type of turn, and so players, without even realizing it, will change directions in that way probably 90% of the time. If there's any kind of opportunity to choose, they'll go in that direction because it becomes a habitual movement. And so to improve the ability to change in a different direction, because sometimes on defense, for instance, I'm going to have to turn towards my right shoulder. I'm not going to go in a giant circle by turning to my left shoulder to try to play defense. I'm going to force players to turn in both directions. So we run out, we turn to our right, we run back, we turn to our left. Now we're getting equal practice between the two, and hopefully balancing out some of those habitual patterns or that the imbalances that come because everything tends to be in one direction. And so I use whatever that punishment activity is, however many change of directions or how many sprints we're doing, whatever the case is, I use that as an opportunity to teach and then also train these movements. So it's not just a sprint, it's not just a conditioning activity, it's not just punishment, but it's actually an opportunity for us now to practice our change of direction movements and to improve on a skill that tends to be overlooked and ignored. And so it enables us to move better, especially when we're trying to move, back to our right, okay, or change directions towards our right shoulder, which we may have to do in a game when the movement's dictated by an opponent and we can't choose which way we want to go. So again, I think these instances of punishment or whatever you're using it for can tell you a lot about how that team approaches basic movement and how they use their practice time effectively. So if I'm going in a situation where, let's say we're playing a scrimmage and the losers have to run, we're going to work on the hockey stop and we're going to work on changing directions to both shoulders so that we can improve our skills. And that's not just a wasted sprint or a small amount of conditioning, but it's actually training and teaching movements that we need to be able to do in a game. And so it actually becomes a little bit of a teaching and training activity, not just punishment.